Hey everyone, this is Daryl from Toronto, and for assignment number 5 of Introduction to Music Production at Coursera.org, I wanted to compare and contrast the Algorithmic and Convolution Reverb plugins in Adobe Audition 3. And I've had a previous peer reviewer ask me why I don't download better plugins. And part of the reason I do these examples in Adobe Audition 3 is to kind of give you an idea of what you get when you install the application so that if you're ever interested in going this route, you'll know what to expect. So hopefully you find it helpful. I'm having an issue with the cam application I'm using right now, recording the desktop. Actually hearing the audio every time I try to record that, it blows up. So I'm just going to explain the reverb plugins to you and the different settings, and hopefully it's not too boring. We'll start by going up to the effects settings, or the effects menu, down to reverb, and then you have convolution reverb, which is actual sampled reverb sounds from a microphone in a room, and you apply those sounds to your audio. It's very realistic sounding, which is nice, but it's a little bit limited as to what you can do with it. Your full reverb is based on math, is based on algorithms, and then you model rooms based with your settings, and it's less authentic than the convolution, which is what we're going to look at first. So as you can see, the VST plugin for convolution reverb in Adobe Audition 3 leaves a little bit to be desired. I'm not sure if it's everybody's computer that does this, but mine does, and it's a bit of a pain. You have your effect presets at the top. If you want to be in a smoky bar, it's going to set you up to be in a smoky bar. And you have your impulse, which is kind of flavoring your effect inside the effect preset. If you want to further preset it, you're probably not going to want to use the presets as much as you're going to want to control the settings based on these sliders. The mix slider is to this side is your dry, so this is your actual signal, and to this side is your wet. So if you bring this to half, you're going to hear half of your dry and half of your wet. If you go all the way to the right, you're just going to hear your reverb. Your room size is exactly what it sounds like on a scale between 10 and 100. How big is your room? Damping for low frequency LF and high frequency HF has to do with how hard the walls are. So how much of a reflection are you going to get? You're going to get more damping as you get towards 100, and less, you're going to get harder walls as you're down towards 10. Your pre-delay is how long it takes before the delay will actually happen. So as you hit the slider up, it's going to be there'll be a delay between the guitar sound, for example, and then the reverb kicking in afterwards, which kind of creates a really weird sound. I like to keep that nice and tight most of the time. And your width is your stereo width. So the wider you get here, the wider you pull this over, the wider it sounds in your mix, and your gain is obviously your output gain. So this is going to be more realistic sounding than the next plugin we're going to look at, which is the full reverb. There's another two here, but they're just lighter versions of the full reverb. Full reverb is, as you can see, you get a lot more options, so you can tweak this up. You have your presets again, like King's Bathroom, for example. That would be a nice place to be. Probably not. The plugin itself is split up into a few sections: your reverberation section, your early reflection section, and your output section. Your reverb section deals with the reverb itself, the long reverb sounds, and your decay time is how long the sound will last before it goes away. And shorter decay means that your room kind of feels smaller. Longer decay means the room feels a lot bigger, and the reverb stays around for a lot longer. Your pre-delay is exactly like it is in the convolution plugin. It's the time between your sound and the actual reverb kicking in. Diffusion is a stereo effect at how full the room sounds, so it's like how evenly the sound is spread out in the room. You can get it pretty thin down here, and you can get it pretty full up on the other end. And your perception is like your damping. Are the walls absorbent or are they reflective? If you're on the reflective end, then they're going to bounce the sound harder, whereas the absorbent will absorb the sound. Your early reflections, there's a set of short delays, like your little slapback sounds off of walls that are close to you, for example. The room size itself is based in meters cubed. And you can see the actual room dimensions down here. So as you adjust these sliders, the room dimensions are going to change. It takes a lot of figuring out, because the dimension slider here actually changes to like a long room versus a wide room. You really have to sit down and play with these just to kind of get the room you're looking for. If you want to be in a nice small closet, you're going to be right down here. If you want to be in these massive open halls, you would be out the other end. Your left and right direction is basically where are you in the mix. If you want to stand right in the middle, you're over here. If you're stage right, for example, or stage left, you're over here. And then your high pass cutoff is in frequency. You can cut on the high pass filter, and you basically tone it down so that you get muddier or brighter if you want to. And your output level is exactly what it sounds like. Here's your dry output level, your wet, and then your early reflections. So you have your reverb up here, your wet for your early reflections here. And then as you adjust those, you're going to get harder and softer reverb sounds. So hopefully this was a little bit helpful for you. I'm sorry that I couldn't give you a more interesting demonstration of the plugin itself. I would recommend downloading another VST plugin from another source if you could, because it is probably going to be a little bit nicer to look at, and you'll probably get some more options as well. So thanks for taking the time to watch and for reviewing, and we'll see you later.